Today I'm joined by my dear friend and Reiki practitioner, Lori Ogden, to explore how the moon's natural cycles align with Reiki and personal energy healing. She'll share the basics, why it's powerful, and simple ways you can harness the moon's energy to bring balance, clarity, and renewal into your life. So come join us. Women's Wellness Authority is your go-to podcast for discovering the hidden gems of holistic health and well-being. In each episode, we dive deep into the many layers of wellness, from mental and physical health to spiritual growth. Through insightful interviews with experts, healers, and thought leaders, we uncover alternative approaches, healing practices, and fresh perspectives that empower you to transform your life. Whether you're seeking innovative ways to heal your body, your mind, or nourish your soul, this podcast offers practical tools and wisdom to help you thrive in all areas of your life. Let's rewrite the rules of wellness together. Step into your power, reclaim your health, and discover what it means to truly thrive from the inside out. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Women's Wellness Authority podcast. I am your host, Diana Ruszkowski, and today I am joined by a familiar and deeply loved guest, my dear friend, sister wife, and Reiki practitioner, Lori Ogden. If you tuned into her first episode, you know the peace and grounding energy she brings to every space that she touches. And this episode explores how the natural cycles of the moon align with Reiki and personal energy healing, guiding us through phases of reflection, release, and renewal. Lori will share the basics of working with lunar energy, why it's important, and how you can harness the moon's rhythm through simple practices and intention to bring balance, clarity, and emotional healing into your life. We will end similar to her last episode and end it with a wonderful healing Reiki session. So wherever you are, take a good deep breath, grab a journal, and let's step into this beautiful conversation together. Lori, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm so happy to be back. Thank you so much. And I'm really excited to talk about this today.
So since you last joined me on the podcast, you've been doing some beautiful things with your moon Reiki work. Can you catch us up on what's been happening and how your practice has evolved?
I can and I will. But first, I would actually like to toss that question back over to you, because you've also been doing some beautiful work since I've last been on. And I would really like for you to share it, because it's just another alignment of energy and synchronicities between us. So I'd like for you to share.
Sure. The tables have turned, folks. Okay. So for those of you who follow me on social media, you might see some stuff that I've been posting around sound healing. So back in May, I got my sound healing certification. And so I spent a lot of my summer doing patio sessions outside and being in nature. And my favorite classes were on my sound floats, which were pretty awesome. And so I've been really enjoying doing that and building that part of my business out. I also am in a 5-month program, which is Empowered Healer Program, and where I'm learning how to balance the body's different energy centers and help process trapped emotions, etc. It's really to help an individual person be more imbalanced and to be able to rest and relax. And so I'm really excited to be able to bring that to my local community. And then lastly, I have just started working on building out my Momma Collective, which is going to be where I work and coach and create community for women who are pregnant and for women who are postpartum. It is such an amazing and transformational part of a woman's life. And I had such a community to support me, and I want to create that for others. I feel really, really strongly and passionate about it. And after I had Mila Brady on, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And so that's a new project for me that I'm going to be working on and hopefully releasing in early 2026. To all my local mamas. Yeah, so I've been a little busy, and I never get to talk about stuff I'm doing on the podcast. So thanks for flipping the mic back to me and asking that question.
I think also, I know I mentioned synchronicities, but there's a lot behind the scenes that you're working on, but also a lot of things that we're all coming together to do to support one another. And that's important, because that's a lot of the background and the basis of why you do what you do, right? Is to build that collaboration and support for women. So yeah, thank you for the opportunity and holding space and continuing your work to do more of it.
So tell us about what you've been working on.
I have been doing a lot of workshops around the moon. a lot of offerings around the moon for groups and incorporating Reiki into those practices. I'm sure people are familiar and hear full moon, new moon. Those are the two most popular. Why? Because the new moon is new beginnings, and the full moon is when we're releasing and illuminating. So I can get a little bit into those, but I have been doing a lot of in-person and distance workshops.
I try to attend almost every single one every month. You host them virtually, so I can benefit from that now that I'm in South Carolina. We're not near each other, but it's absolutely wonderful because it allows and gives me an opportunity for self-reflection, which I am running in a million different directions at all times, and I don't do enough of that. And so it is like an hour gift for me because not only do I inner reflect, let go of some, depending on the type of the moon, right, as I'm learning, let go of some things or manifest other things. And then my favorite part is just really at the end where you do the distance Reiki.
Yeah.
Everyone that gets to attend those calls gets to benefit from that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's just a way to sort of open up our chakras, open up our soul, open up our awareness to be able to allow in all of the exercises that we did during the call to make way in our body for those changes or healing or manifesting.
For you, what interested you the most in moon cycles? And can you share maybe with the listeners, where did that all start?
Yeah, I've kind of always been drawn to the moon, connected to the moon. I've had some sense of ebbing and flowing with the moon and interest in the moon and the waves. And, I lived by the beach for so long, so you could see it visually, right? The changes in the tides. And there was just an awareness about it. But then as I started my own healing journey and becoming more into spiritual practice and meditation, I really started picking up on the energy around each moon. And each phase of the moon carries its own energy. And as I started as a Reiki practitioner, I could feel it in myself intuitively. And as I was working with others, how I'm able to share my gift or pick up on their energy. There's a lot of, again, like synchronicities between the moon and then what I'm feeling and what you're feeling. We're going to have different experiences, but we're feeling certain things during these different times. Mine might be about personal relationships, but yours might be about business. But how do we get through those ebbs and flows? And how do we do it together? I just felt really drawn to connect Reiki with the moon cycles.
Oh, I love it. Now, I have a question for all those moon novices. And I would put myself in that camp because I just thought all moons are created equal. And I obviously, from the education that I've been getting in your classes, realize that's in fact not the case. Can you explain that a little bit? Because I know everybody, I think, learns about the different crescents of the moon in school, but this is actually connecting what type of moon it is. It depends on the type of year, where the planets are aligned, and then also the different things that we can do. But can you kind of just give us a little bit of a foundational understanding?
Moons go through seasons, just like our weather does, just like we do. In the fall, there's a harvest moon, and then there's a flower moon, and there's a wolf moon. There's also blood moons and the different phases of the moons. And then there's also the spiritual and energetic connection to each of these, like you said, depending on where the stars are aligned, right? So we have different astrological signs and planets that move into the moons, right? Weaving all of these different energies, you're going to get something else out of it. So, for example, a new moon, that's for new beginnings. So that's quiet, introspective energy. This is where you want to plant seeds and set intentions. Then there's a waxing crescent moon next, and that's faith and growth. So you're going to take small steps during this phase of the moon for whatever you've committed to, whatever intentions you've set. And then there's the first quarter moon, and that's for actions and challenges. You want to face obstacles head on and reflect on the lessons you've learned. Again, this is the ebbing and flowing, and the waxing gibbous moon is refinement and focus. So you want to come back to your manifestation energy, and you want to check your plans, make sure you're still manifesting, you're still in the path that you are trying to set. Your full moon then comes in, and you're going to release anything that's blocking you. It's really going to be illuminating what's building up, what you need to let go of, what's not working for you, so that you can then open that space to let in the new energy. Then we have the waning gibbous moon, And that's gratitude and sharing. So now you're sharing what you've learned. You're thankful for the people on your journey, maybe. You're just noticing the little wins. Then we have the last quarter moon where you're going to reflect and release. And you're making space here because then you come into the waning crescent moon and you're going to rest and renew. So it's kind of like a pause period.
And this all happens within 1 month?
1 month.
Interesting. So if you don't do anything against all of these moons, it's like however we live every single day. But when you align with the energy from the moon and you might do like, I don't know how long each of these phases are, but say for the 3 days that moon around gratitude, and I just really focus in on gratitude, it's almost like that practice becomes stronger, right? You're like taking your energy and intention and then matching it.
I use crystals as like a support, as an additional, if I'm feeling called to something, maybe if I am talking about the new moon and setting intentions, I might grab a rose quartz for love.
And do what? Just hold it.
And you can just hold it. I might place it on someone's body if I'm working with Reiki. If I'm meditating, I might just put it in the palm of my hand. A lot of women say they put it in their bras. So for the new moon, when you're setting intentions, you're charging your crystal with that intention.
I see.
It's almost like a reminder. It really depends on how you use it, but crystals also give off their own frequency and vibrations. So you can match that with the phase of the moon if you really want to heighten it. Full moon is a good time to put out your crystals for cleansing and charging. There are some crystals you can put in water, some you don't. You can also put water under the full moon. There's various different rituals, as you would say, but again, it's just a practice, and you can make it as spiritual or just as introspective and not it's spiritual, just use it as a guide.
So you went through many moons, but if somebody's just starting and wants to align, what's like the simplest thought process? Maybe the new moon and the full moon?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one. It gives you a time to reflect, and another time it gives you a time to set intentions and release. There's so many ways and so many people out there that are also focusing on this type of energy too. So you'll see it like on my Instagram, I'll post journal prompts. So if someone can't join in person or distance with me, there's still journal prompts. So when you're setting intentions, you can sit quietly. You can take a couple breaths. It doesn't have to be a long practice. It can just be, where do I need to focus?
If we go back to like your moon Reiki circles and how you structure them, you do a lot of like journaling and prompting, which I love because again, I'm not, and this is just me personally, but I am not a big journaler. So I am not, as much as I'd love to be, I'm not really like taking the time to sit out and look up prompts to get me to write. And so I love the guidance. Usually do what, like 3 or 4. That gets us thinking, and it's aligning again, whether we do a new moon or a full moon, about what things we need to let go or our intentions that we want to set. You always have us do a body scan as well, just to get a sense of how we're feeling, which I also don't do enough. And I just did a recording around stress and incorporating body scans. And I'm going to be doing one on somatic breath work, which also brings in the breath and the scans. And it's just creating more self-awareness around so many different things. But what else do you do like within your circle when we meet every month?
So, when you're doing it at home by yourself, it's great. You're tapping into yourself. You can use the prompts, right? It's about the intention behind it. But I like to bring a little something extra when we're all coming together in community or even one-on-one. I like to explain the phase of the moon that we're in and the energy around that specific moon. I think it just helps us go into the session with a little bit of clarity, a little bit of that awakening. And then I'll do a body scan or a meditation that kind of opens the person up to what they've been feeling and release it. Just come into the space and let go and start to relax into that. And then we'll start to journal. And the journaling is just to give ourselves the time to set those intentions and to look inward. A lot of times, like you said, people aren't looking up the journal prompts, or maybe they just haven't gotten to a place where they're so at peace that they haven't thought of something that could actually be a block.
Or don't have the knowledge like you do to align like the prompts with the right moon, with the right energy, right? Because I love that foundationally you explain, because I love learning. And so you're kind of explaining what the moon is and its purpose. And then you're kind of then going into, okay, let's reflect, on our body and writing. But
yeah, when we're reflecting, we're facing ourselves, right? What do we need to let go of? Where are these blocks? It gives us a really nice time to do that. And then we can either share as a group or not. Even though we're doing it as a community, it's not meant to feel like you have to share and be put on the spot and share your experiences, because not everybody has the same experience, or something might come up for someone in the session that they weren't aware of. That could be very emotional, or it gives you time to just sit with it in a safe space. And then I'll offer Reiki healing at the end. And again, that's making even more space. And sometimes I can tune into each individual, where in their body that they need that release that they've just written about. It's their intention. So again, using that life and, universal life force energy to shift things within our spaces and our bodies, to connect and let it go, release it and heal it.
couldn't everybody use that little gift for themselves once a month?
That's it. And you don't have to come to it wanting to release something major, but you're going to leave feeling really relaxed and at peace. And then you have a takeaway through your journal exercises about just little reminders. So as you go through the other phases of the moon and the other cycles, just little reminders, little awareness.
So if somebody was interested in joining your Moon Reiki circles, how can they get that information?
So you can also find me on email at metahealingreiki@gmail.com, or my handle on Instagram is metahealingreiki.
And what we'll do for the listeners is in the resources section, we'll have a link. So you can click on that and easily be able to sign up for Lori's newsletter. I promote it too when I can each month, so that my listeners can benefit from the gift that Lori has.
And I try not to limit it too, right? Just to moons and full moons. I might use it for my own intuition, but I also have other offerings as well. So you don't have to come to a session wanting to know about the moon. You might want to come to the heart center. You might want to come to the grief circle.
That's
might want to come to the spring renewal circle, whatever it is. It's very individualized. But personally, I feel very connected to the moon and that energy.
Yeah. So, and you have in-person events within Fairfield County in Connecticut, and then you do virtual events so people nationally can benefit from it too, which I love. If people don't want to join a class and they want to do something on their own, we talked about journal prompts, but can you give maybe the listeners a little bit of direction? So let's just say full moon, new moon. What kind of practice would you advise that they could do for themselves?
Yeah. And this is honestly how I've started myself, is I would grab a journal or a piece of paper, sit somewhere that I was comfortable, and either put on a guided meditation or just take a couple of breaths, write down what I'm manifesting or what my intentions are or what I want to release. Like I said, it's pretty easy to go find journal prompts, but again, you want to sit with a crystal and rub it in the palm of your hand to relax, light a candle, just do something that opens up your awareness. And you don't have to have a goal in mind. You don't have to have any answers that you're seeking. Just sit and feel the energy around you. Write something down that you're grateful for, right? Start with a gratitude list if you don't want to journal.
That intentional time is more powerful than, that's what I'm learning through that class that I said that I was taking, is that I don't take enough time to sit quietly. And when I do, that's when most of my ideas come and the clarity comes, rather than allowing all the things in life to just keep me consumed.
And sometimes you think, okay, right, meditation should be a regular practice. It absolutely should. Have I practiced regularly? No, that's really hard for me. And, I explore different ways of meditation, and I bring that to my offerings too, because not everything works for everybody. Like the same thing doesn't necessarily work for everybody. So if you're just practicing for 5 minutes a month to take that time for yourself, that's huge.
It is.
It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be 5 journal questions and
20 minutes of, a 60-minute meditation.
Yeah, it's whatever works for you. So I would just encourage everybody to try something, whatever it is.
That was really helpful. I always leave your sessions feeling more grounded and deeply connected with myself. So we are going to get to the Reiki portion of today's recording. And again, we talked about that you do this at the very end of your moon cycles, which I love. I love, 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 love. So if you're driving, this is probably the time to pause because I don't want you to close your eyes while on the road. And for those who are listeners at home, maybe grab a cozy blanket. We're in fall season. Get comfortable and open yourself to receive a little Women's Wellness Authority love and from Lori. So Lori, I will turn it over to you and maybe just let us know what we should be doing.
You don't have to do anything. You can listen. You can come back to this later on. Just be open to receiving. This is a gift for you, which is sometimes hard for people to receive, right? So just take a deep breath in and let it out. Do 2 more times. Just become aware of your body. If you're feeling any tension, let it go. You may want to clench your fists tight and then release them. Your toes. Release your jaw, eyebrows, and your forehead. Just let it all go. Just focus on your breath. Body sink deeper into the earth. You feel yourself ground down. Just imagine bright light, bright white light washing over you, starting from your head, passing through your heart, past your hips, down to your legs, to your feet. Just clearing anything that no longer serves you, that you're holding on to, that you don't need. And take a deep breath in and let it out as you make space. And when you're ready, bring your awareness back to your body, back to the room around you.
Thank you. Gosh, I don't know how many minutes that was, but I have felt really uneasy all week and being pulled in a million different directions. And I feel really peaceful right now. So, which I always feel after. I needed that. And I know a lot of my listeners need it too. And listeners, this is a gift that can keep on giving. Like, you don't need to listen to what we just did once. You can come back when you're having a bad day. And I've asked Lori about this, like, how does distance, we talked about this in a little bit in the last episode, but how does it work? Like, do you have to be live and you just said the energy sets its intention and does what it needs to do. So you can listen to this over and over.
Yeah. Energy knows no physical block. Energy flows where the intention goes, right?
Yes, exactly.
It is a gift for me to offer to you and your listeners the intention of Reiki healing and meditation and alignment. So whenever you're open to it, it's out there in the universe. We've offered it. It's there for you to take when you need it.
Yeah. And those days that you are really struggling, like maybe the last couple days for me, you should turn this on and just take that in. And that's a gift that Lori has given to us now twice, which is awesome. And I hope to have Lori back every season to be able to give her knowledge and this gift to the audience. So Lori, thank you again for joining me and for sharing your light and your wisdom and such a grounded perspective on working with the moon's energy.
Yeah, I can't wait to come back and see what we talk about next.
So every time we talk, I'm reminded really just how simple yet powerful it can be to pause, to connect with nature, to connect with yourself, and really honor those moon cycles that are already guiding us. So for those listening, I hope this conversation encourages you to slow down, to reflect a little bit, and create your own moments with intention. Because whether it's under the glow of the moon or in the quiet of your everyday life, we all deserve that for ourselves. Be sure to follow Lori on Instagram at MetaHealingReiki to stay connected and learn more about her upcoming moon and Reiki circles, both virtually and in person. And as always, thank you for joining me on Women's Wellness Authority. If this conversation spoke to you, share it with a friend who might need this encouragement. And don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform or YouTube so you never miss an episode. And if you're enjoying the show, a 5-star review means the world to me and helps more women find us. So until next time, stay curious, stay empowered, and most of all, stay well. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Women's Wellness Authority. If today's conversation inspired you, shifted your perspective, or sparked something within you, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe, leave a review, or share this episode with someone who might need it the most. Have a story of your own or something you'd like to share? I'd love to hear from you. You can connect with me on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Women's Wellness Authority. Please note the content shared on this podcast is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider regarding your health and wellness decisions. Until next time, stay curious, stay empowered, and most of all, stay well. Thanks, everyone.